I just found out that old Gobblejaws ate this whole stalk of Bessie's bananas.
I hope he didn't leave any of the peels around for folks to slip on.
No, ma'am.
Good.
He ate them, too.
There's one nice thing about Jethro's eating. Very little waste.
Now, Bessie's sure upset. He's got that monkey biting all 4 sets of fingernails.
Well, he'll be out of her hair and bananas directly.
How come?
Your pa's setting Jethro up in business.
Oh, fooling. What kind of business?
I don't know yet. He and Jethro's out front right now, talking heart to stomach.
Sit down, I'll tell you what I want to talk about.
But you can't just wait till after Vittles. I'm starving. I ain't had nothing to eat since breakfast but a few bananas.
Wait, boy, this is important. Jethro, the time has come in life when you and I ought to sit down and discuss...
Uncle Jed, you ain't gonna lecture me about the birds and the bees, are you? I'm a sophisticated international playboy. I know all about that stuff.
Well, what I had in mind was...
Forget it, Uncle Jed. You can't tell me nothing about the facts of life.
Well, that's comforting.
Yeah, I'm what you call a swinger. For instance, you know how I used to think that babies come from under cabbage leaves?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, they don't.
They don't.
No. That's just a story they tell little kids. How they really get here is where the birds and the bees come in. You see, there's this great big bird called a stork. Don't stop me now. At your age, you ought to be hearing this. Anyways, this stork swoops down and picks the babies up by the diapers and then slides them off the end of their beaks down folks' chimneys.
They do.
But that's the bird's part. I ain't quite figured out where the bees fit in.
Jethro, I sat down here wanting to talk about you going into the business world. Now, I ain't even sure you ought to be let out of the house.
Couldn't we save this talk till after Vittles? There's a smell of perfume in the air. Granny's cooking chicken fried fatback.
Oh, I know you're hungry, but it's time you was starting to find your way toward your life's goal.
Don't worry, Uncle Jed. I can smell my way to the kitchen.
Knowing how Jethro eats hot rolls, this don't seem to be enough for 4 of us.
Them is for you and me and your pa. Jethro's rolls is in the oven. Wow! I used to spend all morning baking 3 dozen rolls for Jethro. Then he come up with the idea of only making 2. Bite-sized.
Wish I had a 6th grade education. Now, he must be what you call an intellectual.
Just hope he makes a good businessman.
Well, he told me when you're as smart as he is, you're to the world to teach.
He don't know what he wants to be. One day it's a Supreme Court justice, the next day it's a soda jerk.
Well, he gets him notions from them comic books he's always a-reading.
Well, as of today, there ain't gonna be no more of that. He is through leading the life of a scholar.
My very own business, huh?
That's right. Just decide what you want to be.
Well, let's see. I've always had a bent for brain surgeon. Uncle Jed, couldn't we talk about this some other time when I ain't starving?
There ain't that much time in life, boy. Concentrate. Look inside yourself. What do you see?
Nothing. I'm as empty as last year's bird's nest.
Jethro, you're choosing your life's work once and for all. Now, get food off your mind for a minute.
All right, Uncle Jed. I got food off my mind, and I done decided on my life's calling.
Good.
I'm gonna be a fry cook.
Fry cook?
Yeah, in my own restaurant. Oh, please, Uncle Jed. You gotta admit, ain't many folks know more about food than me.
Well, I grant you, there ain't many of them as et more of it.
I hope you two are through with your talk. 'Cause, Vittles is, ready! Well, these ways he ain't a finicky eater.
Be easier on that door if he was. Third set of hinges he's going through this week.
Just hope my pots and pans hold out till he starts to work.
Well, it'll be pretty soon now. He wants to open a restaurant.
You mean serve victuals for money?
Oh, you ought to do all right, as long as he can stay ahead of his biggest competitor.
What's that?
His stomach.
Speaking of that, we better hurry out to the kitchen whilst there's still some food left. Come on, Jim.
Sure was scrumptious, Granny. Good-sized portions for a change. But what are you all gonna eat?
You mean Ellie left you in there with all the victuals?
Yes, ma'am.
There goes your dinner, Jed. I suppose you cleaned off the whole table.
No, ma'am.
You mean you left something?
The dirty dishes. The dishwashing's your job, Granny. You ain't gonna catch me doing woman's work.
I'll catch you up by the head. Jed, don't waste another minute. Find that boy a restaurant.
I'm going to talk to Mr. Drysdale.
And do me a favor. Start looking out around Kansas City.
Buddy.
Howdy, Miss Jane, Mr. Drysdale. How you feeling?
Don't ask.
You're looking awful sporty. I'm gonna fetch you up a great big dollop of catfish liver oil.
No, Granny, absolutely not. May I just have a glass of water?
You betcha, right away. Back in a jiffy.
Mr. Clampett, you wanted to talk about buying a restaurant for Jethro?
Yeah, but if you ain't feeling good, I can handle it myself. We ain't planning to spend that much money.
Really?
Oh, shucks, no. I'm $200,000 at the outside. Might have that much on me. Where's Granny?
Mr. Clampett, you shouldn't be carrying around that much money in your pocket.
Well, I tried putting it in my boot, but it made me walk lopsided.
Mr. Clampett, you stand to lose your entire investment buying a business for that big Jethro.
Well, I got it to lose. Besides, he's more or less got to be his own boss. I don't know anybody else would hire him.
Oh, I know of a slightly less expensive venture that Jethro would excel in.
Yeah, what's that?
Well, it's a profession that's crying out for new faces. He'd be self-employed, outdoors a lot, and wear a fancy uniform.
That sounds like something he'd like.
He'd be a wonderful organ grinder.
Oh, I don't know. He ain't never showed a whole heap of interest in the field.
Well, it's much cheaper than starting a restaurant, and you already have the monkey.
I hear that. Bessie ain't gonna work with Jethro less than he's on the lease, and she cranks the organ.
Forget it, Ellie. Granny ain't gonna want him hanging around street corners all day nohow.
Besides, he says he's gonna be a fry cook.
I know. Have him to come down.
Yes, sir, Pop.
I'm sorry I took so long. I couldn't find a glass.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That put the blood back in your cheeks. Forced a little into your eyeballs, too.
There was supposed to be water in here.
There is. Drop or two, but it's mostly rheumatism medicine. Well, you said I could keep a little around the house for medicinal purposes.
What do you call a little?
No more than a gallon or two.
Miss Jane is looking for you. Now you go find her and then get rid of all that rheumatism medicine.
Just her and me? Why, 2 gallons is enough for a whole barn dam.
Hey! Take a look at what Fry Cook does. The apron was my own idea.
Jethro, you really ought to try grinding a hurdy-gurdy.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Drysdale. When I get my restaurant, I was going to make every kind of unusual sandwich there is. A hurdy-gurdy, peanut butter and jelly.
The boy's got his heart set on cooking, sort of combining business and pleasure.
Well, I'll see what eating establishments are currently for sale.
I was going to make mine world famous. Next to my cooking, Granny's is going to taste like day-old sawdust.
Glad to see you got a hat big enough to take care of your swelled head.
I'm sorry, Uncle Jim. Kind of got carried away by my fancy uniform.
I couldn't find Granny anywhere. Oh, why, Jethro, you look as though you just stepped off a can of corned beef hash.
Shucks, Miss Jane, thank you. Like they say, clothes makes the fry cook.
Come on, Miss Hathaway. We're buying a restaurant for Jethro. Goodbye, Mr. Clampett.
Bye.
May I have a sip of your water?
Of course not. You're driving.
I'll take the glass. Oh, and I thought of a name for my restaurant. I'm going to call it the Happy Gizzard. Bye, Miss Jane. Mr. Drysdale. Uncle Jed, where's Granny and Ellie? I want to show them the new restaurant Mr. Drysdale got me.
I'll hurry him along. Where's the rest of your chef's outfit?
Got it in here. Didn't want to get it smudged.
Granny said she'd be right out. She had to bring something from the kitchen. Here she comes, Donna.
Mr. Drysdale said my restaurant was fully equipped. Besides, even if it wasn't, he said it's right at Restaurant Row. I sure don't want to show up there with a bunch of beat-up old junk like that.
All right, let's go. But when you are in desperate need of a buzzard egg cooker, don't come crawling to me.
Granny, Mr. Drysdale said the restaurant already has everything they need. Besides, in a city the size of Beverly Hills, they almost got to have a buzzard egg cooker.
Everything. Everything but a cook.
That's me. I'm a first-class, full-fledged fry cook.
Cook. Ha! The one time you tried to fricassee a chicken, you left the feathers on it.
Yeah, Granny. As I recall, them feathers was the tastiest part of the meal.
That ain't gonna happen again, because I got me the biggest, fattest cookbook I could find.
Yeah, and I've been looking at you, big dog, and it's all Rosen French.
Of course it is, stupid. All the great cooks of the world is French.
That doesn't now you going too far. I'm sorry I clobbered you, Jethro. You're part of my family, and I love you. From now on, I'm going to protect you from pain and see that nothing hurts you.
Oh, come on, Granny, will you knock off the mush?
I'll knock you down.
Look there. Maybe that's your restaurant, Jethro.
Wow, I bet it is. Oh, that ain't it. My number's 1836.
Yonder might be it.
Oh, that ain't it neither.
There's a beauty.
Oh, that ain't it.
How about that one?
No, I'm gonna pull down this side street and turn around. Hey, will you take a look at that dump? I've seen better-looking chicken coops.
Boy.
That place wouldn't make decent-looking firewood.
Boy, that's your restaurant.
I bet it's plumb elegant inside.
They've seen it. They're coming back. Please tell Jethro you made a mistake, that you'll find him something better.
Are you kidding? How many restaurants in this town rent for $35 a month?
Howdy, Miss Jane, Mr. Drysdale.
Come in. Oh, I know you're gonna love this place. I'm just nuts about it.
That explains it. A body would have to have a bend in the brain to buy this dump.
Hurt his feelings.
This place has got everything. Oh, electric light, running water, things even a griddle. Look at this, it's all ready to go.
It is?
Yeah, there's almost half an inch of grease on it.
All right, Jethro, the rest is up to you. You've got a beautiful little spot here loaded with atmosphere. Goodbye, Mr. Clampett, Granny. Oh, no need to thank me. It's been my pleasure. Bye-bye.
Don't say nothing to Jethro, but this place ain't worth no $200,000.
Beverly Hills property comes high, but it does seem for that kind of money they ought to throw it in glass for the window.
Probably that newfangled air conditioning that folks out here's always bragging about.
Boy, Paul, this restaurant sure had a strange sounding name before. Look at this sign I found outside.
By now, Jethro ought to have his restaurant all stocked up and open for business.
Yeah, it didn't take long cleaning it with all of us pitching in.
I bet your Granny's happy not having him here for meals no more. What's for supper, Granny?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I forgot how to fix for 3 people. I'm used to having just... No,
Yeah, you get used to it again.
I don't even want to. There's no challenge.
What you mean, Granny?
Well, with Jethro here, every mealtime was a kind of a test for myself. To see if I could cook enough to fill that bottomless pit of his. I never made it. But it was always something to shoot for. I miss him, Jed. I miss him setting up to the table and wolfing down his dinner in 30 seconds flat.
He was fast, all right. Fastest I ever seen.
I miss the sound of them big white teeth of his gnashing together, grinding up bones and gristle, anything. Didn't matter.
I liked it best when he had corn on the cob.
Ain't often you meet a fella eats at cobs and all.
What I'd give to see his knife and fork clanking together again, the sparks flying in every direction.
He did bring excitement to mealtime.
Didn't matter how you cooked things, raw or burnt to a crisp. It was all the same to him.
I believe I can say about Jethro Bodine, he never met a meal he didn't like.
Let's go see him, Jed.
Yeah, Pa.
Well, he's got the truck, and it's pretty near 10 miles down to his restaurant.
A short walk is good for the circulation. Come on.
I wanted him to go it alone for a spell, but I'm beginning to miss him myself.
I'll just get a few things together in case he needs them.
Well, now, let's stay out of his way. He's probably got his hands full taking care of paying customers.
Gee whiz, where is everybody? 4 hours without a customer. What could I have done wrong? Got the location, a snappy name, new glass in the windows, plenty of victuals, hot griddle. How can they stay away? Hot dog, my first customer. Hi, and welcome to the Happy Gizzard, also known as the Chitlin Club.
I'd like to use a telephone.
Have you a reservation?
Huh?
Oh, that's all right. I'm the owner. I think I can find you a stool. Right here, and get ready for some good eating.
Look, Duncan Hines, I just want to use your telephone.
Oh, okay, but first you got to order something.
I'm not hungry.
Wait till you see the menu. What do you say now?
Like a sixth grader did it.
Thank you. But the menus is only the beginning. I can cook anything, strange or exotic. The sky's the limit. How about a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich?
Okay, I'll have one of those.
Coming up. See, I got me a French cookbook. Wouldn't you just as soon have a hamburger?
Okay, a hamburger.
Gotcha. My griddle's all hot. What would you like on that, beautiful? I wouldn't laugh. There's a lot of danger in this line of work. That's the third time I've done that today. My hand ought to be medium rare by now.
Hey, look, where's your phone?
Oh, hold on. I'll get your hamburger. Have a glass of water while you're waiting. I gotta find something small enough to plug up the pipe.
How about your brain?
I got it, a carrot. Oh, one burger coming up. Let's see, I need onion. Where are the onions? The onions. There the rascals are. I'll get them.
Hey, genius, watch where you're stepping.
Don't worry, ma'am. I'm as sure-footed as a mountain goat. Doggone, my best hair. My soul's done been fried to a crisp. Didn't do my foot a whole lot of good neither. You wait right there now. I'm gonna get them rascals. I'm missing 4 of my onions.
And all of your marbles. I'm getting out of here.
Oh, wait. You can make your phone call now, and I'll cook your hamburger for you when you're finished.
All right. Where is the phone?
Get on the truck.
Truck! I want to use your phone.
You can, but I gotta drive you up to my Uncle Jed's. I ain't got one here.
Oh! Forget it.
Gone.
What's the glass doing on the floor?
My windows got broke, and so did my spirit. Streetcar conducting's looking good to me right now.
Now, take it easy. Everybody has to fall a time or two before they take the first step. I will grant you, you appear to have stumbled more than most.
I don't even feel like cooking for nobody now. I don't even feel like eating.
That is serious. It was a good thing we decided to happen by.
Hi, Granny, Ellie.
We were just neighborhood, and we decided to look in on you.
He walked all the way down here. Wouldn't let us help her carry a thing.
What are you doing with all that stuff?
Yeah, you never know when you're going to find a little cooking to do. And I'd hate to be caught without my own tools.
You can relax, Jethro. She even brung along a buzzard egg cooker.
Of fabulous eating places, mealtime mecca for the world's most glamorous appetites. Close by this thoroughfare, another restaurant has recently opened, making its bid for culinary stardom. The Happy Gizzard. The Happy Gizzard.
Dinner time! Come and get it! Dad, Ellie Mae, Jethro, Vittles is ready. The day is just cold. I'm going to get hot. Where's Jethro? He's late for Vittles.
Blow your flue, Granny. He's out trying to scare up some business.
You couldn't scare anybody into this place with a brace of shotguns.
Mr. Drysdale said it takes a little while for a restaurant to get popular.
Popular? I just wish you'd get his first customer.
Shouldn't be too much longer now. He's been open a week.
Maybe you should have set him up for some other kind of business, Jed.
Boy chose this one. Of course, maybe I shouldn't have asked him just before mealtime.
Well, I'm sure tired of cooking up a couple of tons of stuff on this menu and having no customers to eat it.
Howdy. Is lunch ready?
Yep, sit down.
That's a good thing about having a restaurant. You get to eat out a lot. What do we have?
The soup of the day for yesterday. 20 gallons of catfish and apricot gumbo.
Dog. I'm almost glad we ain't doing no business.
All right. You find out why.
Yeah. And it's so exciting, I can't even wait to finish eating to tell you.
What is it?
I said I can't wait to finish eating. I can't wait till I get started.
I can't. Start talking.
All right. You see, I've been driving around checking out the other restaurants. And the ones with the people lined up outside is all advertising the same thing.
What is it?
Topless waitresses.
What's a topless waitress?
I mean, you don't know?
No, me neither.
You do, don't you, Uncle Jan?
Nope.
Well, if that don't sound like a bunch of backcountry apple knockers talking. Living here in Beverly Hills all this time, and you ain't even sophisticated enough to know what a topless waitress is?
Well, Mr. Hot Shot Man around town, what are they?
Well, I ain't sure. None of the places have let me in. Now, quit that, Ellie. They must have figured I was a competition. It's a good thing I got an education, sophistication, and Savor Berry to figure it out.
All right. What's a topless waitress?
There's only one thing it could be. As anybody knows that's been around as much as me, that all them waitresses wears them silly little hats. Now, the way I got it figured, all the waitresses that work in these topless places don't wear anything on their head. No hats or nets or nothing. How? Because they look better. See? Even Ellie looks almost pretty. I can hardly wait to get over and tell Mr. Drysdale I ain't even going to take the time to eat.
Do you think we ought to give this topless business a try, Jed?
Might as well. No telling what city folks like. Sure can't lose him no customers.
All right. I think we're ready to receive our potential new depositors now.
Welcome, beloved Mr. and Mrs. Vanderpont.
I wish you would start thinking about Jethro and forget the Vanderponts for a moment.
Forget a possible $20 million account. It's no Clampett fortune, but it's not exactly petty cash either.
But what about Jethro, trying to make a go of that dilapidated diner you saddled him with?
Don't blame me. He wanted a business of his own. All I did was give it to him.
Oh, you gave him the business, all right. After what you've done, I don't know how you managed to get to sleep at night.
Very simple. I count money. The difference between renting that diner for Jethro at $35 a month or buying a restaurant for $200,000 like Mr. Clampett wanted to do.
Good old Mr. Drysdale. Heart of solid gold. Old and hard.
Mr. Vanderpump? Mrs. Vanderpump?
Chief.
Oh, they're here. Hail, Mr. and Mrs. Vanderpump. My bank is yours. Where's the Vanderpumps?
They're not here yet.
You mean I just blew $2 with a rose petal?
I must talk to you about Jethro.
You'll have to wait. I have other fish to fry. And here they are now, Mr. and Mrs. Vanderpump. Come in, you lovely people.
Mr. Drysdale, I'll get right to the point. We are looking for a financial institution whose clientele is of the very highest social caliber. Leaders of society, aristocracy, etc.
You have found it. Champagne Countess Hathaway?
When our money talks, we want it speaking to only the best people.
This is the bank for you. Oh, I wish you could meet some of our distinguished depositors.
I've heard that, but my Uncle Jed ain't here. Will I do? Yeah, I just got here. I knew you'd want to hear the good news. Our restaurant, the Happy Gizzard, is going topless. I know why y'all are staring. Forgot to introduce myself. My name's Jethro Bodine. My Uncle Jed's the biggest depositor in the bank. Ain't he, Mr. Drysdale?
Thank you, Mr. Drysdale. You certainly do have an exclusive clientele. There can't be many more in Beverly Hills like that.
Well, thank you. I didn't get your name. I'd sure like to have you stop by my restaurant sometime.
Jethro, I can hardly believe my ears. Does your Uncle Jed know about this topless business?
Sure. He says it's all the same to him, if the waitresses don't care.
You'd better talk to Mr. Drysdale.
I better come back later. He ain't feeling well.
Yes, he probably is a little sick now.
He must have a thunderclap or a headache. He's got ice pack on his head.
$20 million account gone. A topless restaurant on my hands. This could drive a man to philanthropy.
I just thought of a new dish that might bring customers in here. I'll take my owl burgers, add a little pickled Rudy Bakers, and call them Rudy Burgers.
Oh, Granny! Boy, this topless sign worked in how? The minute I got out to the road, it started a bigger fuss than a firecracker in a hen house.
What happened?
Well, the cars in the truck started jamming on their brakes, and folks started whistling. I run back here before they all smashed into one another.
Oh, Scooby-Doo, there you are, you cute little tomato. I blew a head gasket over you.
Don't you get fresh with me, you big wolf.
Granny, you're making a mistake.
No, I ain't. I know his type, spouting and all that love poetry, dress fit to kill.
Excuse Granny, mister. She's kind of excited about tonight. Can I offer you some refreshments on the house?
Oh, all right, I'll have some jolly.
Son, we ain't got none of that. How about a cup of coffee instead?
Well, let's forget it, huh? I gotta be going anyways. It's just that I saw Blondie there with that sign. Tell me, is this really a topless place?
It will be tonight.
Oh, great. I gotta make the midnight run to Fresno. How about saving me that stool for around 11 o'clock, huh?
All right, and maybe by that time we'll find a Java to cook for you.
Well, it's not the food I'm interested in as much as the service. The waitresses, if you get what I mean.
I sure do, and you're in luck. At 11, Granny has the duty.
The little old lady.
We're all pitching in to help my nephew. He's having a little trouble making a go of this place. That's the reason we're trying a topless waitress.
Well, let me give you a little tip. You'd better have somebody ready to replace Grandma there.
Yes, we do.
Oh, good.
If she gets tired, I'm taking over.
Well, lots of luck. And if sheer courage can do it, you got it made. Otherwise, you're in big trouble.
What did he tear out of here like that for?
I don't know. He said he had a midnight run to Fresno. Could be he wants to get his legs warmed up.
rascal trying to get out of here without paying his bill. His truck pretty near killed me.
Oh, did you tell Mr. Drysdale about the topless?
Oh, yeah. He got so excited, he got a log splitter of a headache.
Folks just can't take good news.
I'll give you some medicine to take over to him, Jed. I'd go myself, but I can't leave my post here.
What are you giving me?
Some of my surefire headache remedy.
Hey, that is rheumatism medicine, corn squeezing.
Well, if you drink enough, it'll stop your headache.
If you drink enough, it'll stop your breathing.
Well, it's even safe for city folks if they follow the prescription.
What prescription?
3 fingers of remedy in a glass, add water, ice cubes, twist a lemon, and sift your head off.
My dear Mr. and Mrs. Vanderport, you can't know how happy I am that you've reconsidered.
How could we refuse when you threw yourself right in front of our car in the middle of Sunset Boulevard?
Well, actually, that was one of my clerks. But it was my hand that pushed him.
Really?
But he's being rewarded. I'm letting him go home early tonight.
In any case, I suppose we should meet Mr. Clampett, your largest depositor, before we eliminate your bank as a possibility.
Oh, thank you. Oh, do let me take care of your money for you. I'll treat it as my very own. I'll take it out every day and play with it. We'll take long walks together. I'll be more than just its banker. I'll be its pal.
And I must say, your love for money borders on the psychotic.
Thank you, gracious lady.
Yeah, we're late for an appointment at the Merchant's Bank. We'll let you know which bank we choose, Mr. Drysdale.
Have dinner with me tonight before you make a decision.
All right, if you release my wrist. You're bending my bracelet. Perhaps then we can meet Mr. Clampett.
Well, I think he might be in Europe. But take my word for it, he's not like his nephew. But Jethro's a bit... all that inbreeding. Royalty, you know. But Mr. Clampett, he's every inch a multimillionaire. Tall, broad-shouldered, silver-haired, with just a trace of an accent.
Honey, I bring you a headache remedy.
There's something I forgot to mention. Jed Clampett is also a world-famous physician. Eccentric, but a fantastically brilliant doctor.
I must talk to him. I've been to 100 specialists seeking a cure for my migraines.
How are you, Mr. Drysdale? I hear you're feeling lower than a well-digger's heel.
Oh, how good of you to come, and all the way from Europe. Huh? But I'm feeling wonderful now.
Oh, well, good. Then I won't bother to leave this headache remedy.
Oh, I want you to meet Mr. and Mrs. Vanderpont.
Oh, howdy.
How do you do?
How are you?
Well, now that you ask, I've got a little pain right here, and I haven't been sleeping well, and my liver is not what it should be. Then, too, I've always been bothered with migraines.
Well, it's a pleasure to know you so well, so soon.
Well, as long as Mr. Drysdale doesn't need it, do you mind if I take along your headache remedy?
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Clampett. We'll see you at 7:30, Mr. Drysdale.
Oh, but man, I ain't no doc. Be sure and follow directions on the...
I want to thank you again, Miss Jane, for coming over and clearing us up on that topless business.
Thanks, Miss Jane.
Now, you'll tell Ellie right away, won't you?
Oh, I'll tell her as soon as I can. She ought to be ready to hear it in about 3 or 4 years.
I didn't understand how come my giant brain come up with the wrong answer.
That's all right, darling.
Even computers make mistakes.
Yeah, geniuses, too. Thomas Edison goofed a few times before he invented the airplane.
Thomas Edison made the first light bulb.
See? That's what I mean about goofing. Imagine coming up with a light bulb when he's trying for an airplane.
But now we must think of a new way to make the Happy Gizzard a success. For example, I definitely feel we should change the name.
You're right. It ought to be something that makes you hungry the minute you hear it. Like the boiled mule.
The Happy Gizzard isn't bad.
Well, one of the problems is the food we serve.
What?
Granny Jethro was referring to the menu. After all, Beverly Hills is a very cosmopolitan city. And look at this. Southern fried muskrat. Stuffed groundhog. Corned beaver and cabbage.
That's right, Miss Jane. You see, in a city this size, well, you can get victuals like that at almost any restaurant in town. What my place needs is something different. Like, making it French-like. Hey, I'm serving fancy French food, like French fries and tacos and chop suey.
You should do some research first.
Oh, I intend to.
Well, good. And remember, Romanovs wasn't built in a day.
Thanks, Granny, for not being mad at me for that topless waitress notion. There's something to laugh at now, ain't it? Yeah. What are you doing with the skillet? Cook me some vittles? You ain't laughing, Granny. Granny!
You hear that funny clang, kind of faint like?
No.
I reckon I better skedaddle back to the restaurant.
Well, I'm sure everything will be all right.
Too bad about Jethro. He was all a tingle over the grand opening tonight.
I wish there was something I could do.
Well, there is. You can bring the missus and come over to the restaurant for supper.
Oh, that's impossible. Margaret's in Boston, and besides, I'm taking the Vanderpunts to dinner tonight. It means a big new account for the bank.
Well, I understand. Got to do it up brown, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, bring him along.
What?
We'll kill him with kindness. Put on a big spread.
Mr. Clampett, you don't mean...
No trouble. The place ain't exactly swamped with customers, you know.
I can't. The Vanderpunts...
Well, I'd consider it a big favor on my account if you would.
Your account, yes, but...
Now, don't race your engine. Jethro will be pleasured no end. Now, don't disappoint us. Granny's cooking up something special.
Yeah, my goose.
Okay, everybody, get ready. Mr. Drysdale's limousine just pulled in. Now, remember, Uncle Chet, you promised to let me handle this all by myself.
I'll wait out back. You holler if you need me.
I know what to do. Heck, practically every movie I've seen had a French restaurant in it.
You remember that these Vanderpunt folks is very important to Mr. Drysdale. I want them sure the evening they won't forget.
Don't worry. That Mrs. Vanderpunt is crazy about yours truly. Heck, just finding me here will be a big thrill to her.
I'm all ready, Jethro.
Good. Now, remember your French accent. Chef Pierre, are you ready?
Jethro, I've decided I ain't gonna be no man.
Oh, come on, Granny. They'll be here any minute. All French restaurants has got men chefs.
I told you I'd do the cooking, and I did. Wearing a mustache is something else. Besides, it's getting all soggy. Fell into the soup kettle twice already.
Oh, please, Granny, just for tonight.
Well...
All right, now you just get out of sight till I introduce you.
Oh, it's him again! I'm smelling sauce.
I told you, she's just overpowering fond of me. Welcome to the Happy Gizzard. How do you like my accent?
It's atrocious.
No, it's French.
Say hi to the coach.
Can't you see they ain't wearing none, you dumb old girl?
If you're going to talk that way, I quit.
Come on, Jethro, get this over with. See us. What is the name, please?
Drysdale.
Let me see. How do you spell that?
After the night, M-U-D.
Wait. Here it is. The best table in the house.
Oh, let go of me. Oh, I feel faint.
Just my hand on your arm done it to you, huh? You are tough with me.
Oh, you ludicrous buffoon.
Well, I'm right fond of you, too. But enough of this flattery. I want you to meet the chef that's responsible for the taste treat that's in store for you tonight. Doggone, I forgot my French accent. It is my pleasure to present the greatest French cook in the whole world, Chef Pierre. Chef Pierre. Granny!
Quit your hollering.
What's that you got on your lip?
The mustache.
What happened to the one that I gave you?
Told you it was all soup-soaked. The dog out back snatched it out of my hands and run off with it.
That looks like part of a vegetable brush.
That's what it is.
Oh, Granny.
I got a whole meal cooked for them folks. Better not let them out of here before they eat it.
Hey, wait. You can't leave yet. Hey, Granny's been cooking all afternoon. Hey, take a look at the menu I planned for you.
What? Vichyssoise, bœuf bourgogne, pomme au gratin, crêpe Suzette. We ought to try it. Granny's an excellent cook.
Well, I am starving.
Here it is, dig in.
But this isn't bœuf bourgogne and pomme au gratin. It's...
Grits and hog job.
Grits and hog joust? Granny, you said you was going to cook French food.
This is better. I ain't serving company things like snails and frog legs.
I'm getting out of here.
Sit down, Pearly May. I'm having second.
George, how many times have I told you never to talk in public?
Too many. Now, hush your face.
I ain't stunk my choppers and grits and jowls as good as 3 left sorghum red.
You mountain folks?
Darn tootin'. We lived so far back in the hills, the sun set betwixt our place and town.
You're supposed to be leaders of society.
Yeah, once I got filthy rich with uranium, Pearlie Mae started to talking fancy, getting high-tone notions. I think what done it was putting on her first pair of shoes.
Well, Mrs. Vanderpunt. Vanderpunt sure had me fooled. Just a couple of hill folks like us.
They ain't hill folks. They lived in the Gulf.
Granny, don't be such a snob.
Oh, shucks, I don't care. I was just glad that Jethro got some paying customers. At least now he's in the restaurant business.
Hey, guess what? I'm out of the restaurant business.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Mr. Vanderbilt made me an offer on a Happy Gizzard. Said he always wanted to eat a place like mine.
How much?
Well, $1,000 if Granny does the cooking. $100 if she don't.
I hope I know what you answered him.
Now, there's only one thing the boy could have said.
That's right. You better get stumping, Granny. You're late for work.